Good afternoon, everybody. I'm 2 minutes early. I tell you, it's just been a very interesting day, and you see I'm smiling because any drama that could have potentially interrupted or interfered with our hour together has now just evaporated. So I'm really happy about that. I'm going to find you. I even remember to turn the sound on today. What's with that? I've just been having a chat with Emma and Natasha. Oh, turn the sound down. And so what was going to happen today was that we were going to get a delivery of not a couple, not 100, but 800 of my pink and teal Waratah scarves. And I had it redirected to the house where I am, because we wanted to store quite a lot of them here, and I thought I'll get them in here and I'll unpack them and make them all you know, lovely and organized, and then I'll slowly take them to work. I didn't think about the fact, well, when I did that over a week ago, I didn't know they were going to be a day late, so I didn't know they were going to arrive on a live show day, and I didn't know it was literally going to be monsoonal winter rain, Melbourne style, on the day of delivery. And I'd hoped he delivered this morning, but it still wasn't here. But Emma's just rung me to say, after all of my efforts to change the delivery address to the house, it's still been delivered to the warehouse. So poor Em's mopping up the rain that's come in under the roller door at the moment, but they're all safely at work. So I've actually been cheeky and popped it up on our show specials for today too, just for you, because I know where they are. They're all in. Anyway, I hope you're all wherever you are. I hope you're all cozy and that you've got a coffee. Look at this, I love this. Look. Oh, there's the coffee in my hedgehog mug that I bought in the Dedham Community Craft Centre, which is my mum's home village in Essex in England, and it's just like my fave mug with my hedgehog on. I have a few favourite mugs. I know they're everywhere here. I know you can get them, but you know, it's all about the experience, isn't it? Good afternoon. There's one thing though, my phone's a little flat, so I'm leaving it on the charger just for a little while. Hello Pat and Denise and Yvonne and Lynette and Carolyn. Hello Sue. Hello Christine. Hello Robin. Gail's here too, and Kathy and Cheryl and Jane. And thank you for your lovely, is that on a Quilter's Life, Miss Jane? Lovely note on Quilter's Life. There was so many people that wrote lovely things on the weekend. I tried to catch up in a bit of a binge session yesterday, but I think I've got more to do. Hello Tina, hello Diane. Here comes the bell. Here comes the bell. She's been asleep in front of the heater all day, and now she's coming. Hello Barb and Deb. Oh, Fiona, I have many things for you, Fiona. Many things, Fiona. Yeah, Deb, it is a bleak afternoon, isn't it? Hello, Gay and Di and Donna, where do you get a meerkat? This cat, where do you get a meerkat mug from? I want one. I have to have one. Does that mean you have to turn the mug each way really quick, like a meerkat? I don't know. Just being silly. Good afternoon. Oh, there's her lady's name here I can't pronounce. I am so sorry. Juliana? I'll get it right. I will promise I will get it right. Hey, Sharon. You're here too. Anne and Lorraine. Everyone's here. That's awesome. Actually, there's a text message just there from Steve. It's just flat out sprint on this new website at the moment, because every week I whinge about my gals and I can't do things that we want to do on live shows or make it easier for us or whatever, so I'm really happy about that. Hey Miss Gin, excuse me, I'm just going to turn the heater off. If she's down here with me, she does not need the heater on. Move your tush. Move your tush. Let's turn this off, Gin. let's turn that off. Hey, okay. So today, in true rainy afternoon style, if you're quite right there. You're quite right. True afternoon style. Can you see? I've got the trackie on. I decided to sit today, and I thought, oh, like those guys, you know, you see all those fun things about, well, not guys, just girls and guys that have their trackie on with their shirt and tie when they're doing Zoom calls during lockdown. So I decided today I would do the same. I also thought I would be running outside. I've got my coat ready to go out and get all of these boxes, and I thought, how am I going to say, just make yourselves at home and look at things and leave a message while I go and unpack a truck? But it's all good now. Hello, Marg. So it's sunny but windy in Brisbane today. Windy Brizzy. Well, that's a bit of a shame. Hello, Barb. And Joan. Oh, you're all here. You know what? That is just lovely. And hello, Judy. That's really nice that you have decided to join me this afternoon. So, what do I have to say? So, first of all, I have a list. Scarf delivery, tick. Next, it says live 6. So we'll tick that off. So if you have a look now or later, under the code live6, I'll hold that up for you, under live6 on the website, you will find pretty much everything that we're going to talk about today. I've popped some things that were from earlier live shows, so they may have been live 3, 4s or 5. I've put the code live6 on them as well, and that way you can find everything that we talk about today under there, whether we've had it before or not. So it's, you know, it's all in there for you to have a look at. Robert very kindly spent his lunch hour again today doing those things, and therefore I look forward to when we don't have to hassle him at the last minute anymore to put things up. So live 6s today. Now, one of the things that we're trying to get on top of at the moment is get ahead of. I feel like I've been listening to the boys and the health team. Get ahead. Not of a virus, get ahead of our live shows, because I'm literally chasing my tail to catch up with you, and I'm very aware that you're very patient, that when you order some of the specials, you just get a picture of a bit of fabric up on the website, and you'll still see a couple of those today. So we're changing a lot of things of the way we're still doing our Tuesday, Thursday lives, don't worry about that, but we're changing a few other things at the moment. And one good example is, I promised to have the jade and teal woven trim tote made for you, and it didn't happen. I know what you're saying, Leesa, what have you been doing? Well, just stuff. So I'm very conscious it isn't done. I have now popped it up on the website. At least, you know, you can go in and you can order it, and I've put a picture of this one and then laid the fabric over the top, or I've actually got the lanyard done, or the purse. And I think I said to you I wasn't going to make the purse up yet because that's taking up another frame. And I'm also very conscious, some of the things that we're planning to do, I've had to stop and rethink of when I'm doing them, because you are all being so lovely and so supportive that once upon a time I'd go, oh, I've got 10 of those, that's enough to do a live show. Not anymore. We really need to think through, because I just, you know, it really, really bugs me when I know that you're all waiting on back orders of things. So now I want to get to the point where I order enough of something in, get it ready and do it on a live show, and then there's enough for everyone straight up, and there's a few more left on the website, hopefully. So we're going to change things around a bit. But in terms of the woven tote, I have to apologise. The weekend did not go to plan. Some of the things that I had planned to do in the warehouse and get done, we just switched things around a bit because of the weather. Steve's under the weather, if he's watching. Excuse me. You're right. You cannot go up on there, because that is called a switcher, and you cannot push the buttons. Sit there, thank you. Why am I telling your cat to sit? They don't sit on command. I don't know why. Just sit, just there. Thank you. Say hi to the camera. Right. Yeah, no. So and Steve, poor Steve is under the weather, had to go and get the COVID test, so we kind of just shrunk things down a little bit. We didn't get too carried away with us all being together all at once. So orders have been being done by one of us at a time in the warehouse. So I thank you very much for your patience. I have every intention of finishing this pink and teal one, and the pattern is all done, so, and it's all up on the website, so I promise I will do it. To that end, you know, I was kind of stressing out talking to Em about it today, and she said, and then we started talking about that felt basket thing that I wanted to do on Thursday, and she sort of said, I want in on that because I want to do the zipper purses with it, and I want to do this, and I want to decorate this, and I want... Okay, but I was going to do it Wednesday, and she said, no, we are not doing it Wednesday. You are going to do this. And she produced this out of her, just out of her bag, you know, ever so casually. Now, a lot of you might recognize this. I'm just going to set it up there for you to look at. This is a remake, Melba style, of the original Dutch sewing tote. Some of you, pocket sewing tote, Dutch sewing tote, and pocket tote. We've done it over the years, and she has retweaked the pattern to use the Melba border stripe. So this is what we are doing on Thursday, but I'm going to run through some different embellishment ideas and techniques for you as well, because we will put the pattern up separately with this one, and you might like to use your stash of what you've got. So, you right there, Jim? So this bag is full of pockets. So you can see she's fussy cut our border print. You've got a pocket there, and it sits under the flap. Do you remember this? We did this with that Dutch panel I did. Then you've got pockets here, and you've got a thin one here to put your pen in, and then you've got another pocket here, and then round the back you've got another pocket here. So I know that's 2 bags for the week, but they couldn't really be more different in terms of pockets and everything. So this one we will do Thursday. I'm going to offer kits in all the different combos of the Melba border stripes, and then I'm going to give you a few other ideas of how you can embellish your front pocket. So hello Avril, hello, it's been a while. Oh, Jean's here too. Ali, you look new to me. I do not know, I'm sorry if you have watched before. Robin's a repeat offender. This I know. Flick's in the building. It's wet and cold in St. Helens today, but having fun, and that's why us quilters survive, don't we? What's looking like a potato chip? I don't know. On my left, on my right, there's a potato chip. Over here, somewhere. What are you looking at? Oh, up there. Oh, I'll come to that. Don't worry. I'll sort you out on that. It's not a potato chip. You're in your tracky decks too, Corinne. I'm very, very glad to hear that. Yeah, it's freezing, isn't it? It's like the world knows we're in lockdown. Yeah, she's a gorgeous cat. Sometimes, Len, it's like your children. You love them, but they're not perfect, are they? The opposite though, my boys behave impeccably in public. This one behaves in private, but as soon as that camera goes on, that's it. All right, so tick off. Woven trim tote will be finished. I will come to what's happening at Chandler's Cottage in the shop soon, and it does affect everyone. Oh, makeup purses. So I've popped the ones that we did. It's very exciting. These are the ones that lots and lots of you are waiting on. These guys here. Shall we go to the close-up camera, Miss Jenny, if I can remove your... There's the tail. So these are our little purses. I've moved these up and put them under Live 6 for you. But when I was at work this morning, chatting with Em, just getting things ready with her for the day, it arrived. The big boxes all arrived with our cork from America. So if you're waiting on this one, this one is fine. We've got, oh no, the zips are arriving tomorrow, so we've got more. Fiona and a couple of others, if you get one of these and you have a zip that is like 3 times as long as you need, please accept that that's okay, because you're just going to trim it down so that it's the right size, and they're the ones I had and I didn't want to hold up your order going out. So that's there. And this one, the cork came in for this as well, which is really exciting. I've got these. Now, Steve is packing these off me today with the beads and everything in between working on the website. So he'll bring them back across tomorrow. So everyone that's got a back order in, they will go out. I don't like having you all waiting on back order, so I'm very happy about that. And if you go to the website, if you've already bought one, you will find that the photo there now is not just a scatter of raw materials sitting in the photo. You've got an actual photo of the finished bag. All right, so, oh, Felicity, also, sorry, Flick, also on Thursday's show, because we're going to do that tote, I want to do, Felicity, do you remember Flick sent over those gorgeous little folded, they're like a coin purse, but you could use them as a coaster or something. I'm going to revisit those. I also need to do a version of that for my club members in A Quilter's Life, because I promised a purse to put your little free mirror offer in that we had earlier in the year. I'm now late. And I'm messing with the shape a bit, Flick, so we're going to do one that's a rectangle that will take your little packs of tissues to pop in your tote, and I'm going to have a go at doing a hexagonal one, which you can then pop your little round mirror in if you're a Quilter's Life member. So that's going to happen Thursday with the embellishment stuff and everything. So that's what's going on. It also says here kitchen light box. What's a kitchen light box mean? No, I know what it is. I'm looking at you all going, come on, help me out. I'm not going to take credit for this idea. I was on Instagram maybe at 2 o'clock in the morning. Andrea Mills caught me out because I was talking to her. I texted her back, and I forget that you can see when I've texted or emailed. Just sit there, baby, for a minute. Oh, I mentioned these the other day. Em told me off for trying to do all of this today as well. So, because just too much on. But I've popped this in live 6. I have marked them down. The new colour combo with the aqua in is what we're moving to, and there's about 5 or 6 of these left. The brand new ones I'm actually making up tomorrow, because I've got a big shipment going off to my mate Rosemary at Cross Stitch Corner in Malanda in northern Queensland for her and Janice Stroud to have a play with, teach with and stuff. So that's kind of discontinued because of that pink. We haven't got much of that pink left at the top, the lilac one. So I've popped them in there as well in case you wanted to grab one that's the combo that's there, and then we're doing a new one. But I think I've marked them down to, I don't know, I've taken like $5 off them or something. They were $19.50. Cool idea. Cool idea. I've got to grab my phone. Now, if you need, you need an overhead shot for a start. If you need a quick light box and you have a phone with a torch. Yeah, let me just go through here. Hello, Val, you're here. Bev's in too. Oh, the whole team are here. Josie. Hey, Josie, you've got a big fat tab still too. Don't forget that. Hello, Shirley. And Judith. Judith, is it super cold and raining down your way? I kind of like the idea that it is because I love your part of town. All right, you ready? So I'm going to do this to my phone. I'm going to put the torch on. So see, can you see that? My torch is on here. You need a quick light box. You grab your clear Pyrex or your casserole dish. How cool is this? Now, you're not getting my big one because it's soaking in the sink after last night's frittata. True story. So just to show you. Now, I don't think you can see it, but it gives you like a little mini, you can't see that, but I promise you I can see through. If I turned all my lights off, I wonder if I can turn this light off. No, you still can't see. That's all right. Anyway, if you need a quick one, get the casserole dish, put torch on your phone and put that over the top. And it's just, you know, depending on the size of your piece you want to do, but if you just need a little bit, if you're doing a lot of applique, I thought that was the coolest idea. Sewing machine back on. Okay, so I'm going to pop that back there. There we go. All right. So what else could you use? I suppose it doesn't have to be glass, but glass is really good because it's firm. I'm thinking about could you do it with a Tupperware or something? But I think clear glass is the go. It's going to be one of those things, if you've got one of those nice kind of flat Perspex boxes, like the ones I think you can get at Kmart. Hey, a lot of you have been tidying up your sewing rooms, and I'm very, very impressed. So these ones, I think you can get wider ones like this, and this is plastic, but it's nice and clear and firm, so that would be fine. All right, let's have enough dribble. Let's have a look. So we have got ready the pattern for our tote, which you can see this side. You can see hanging up here that I put up earlier, and this was originally done as a raffle prize for one of our Australian textile exhibitions that we had at the Botanic Gardens. We did this. We did a minty green version of Elliot's Garden. I'm very, very keen to go back and do that again. And also my sample my sample of that quilt is, I think, with Maria in Española in Spain. And I'm not going to take that back off her at the moment because she's using it for shows over there. So I'll make another one, but I want to do this beautiful soft mint green version of it as well. So the bag was done for that, and Cass and I were discussing, did we or did we not do it for Quilter's Companion or Homespun? I can't remember. Not that it matters, because it's my baby now, so I can have the pattern back. I'm just going to pop this on the floor for a minute so I can get the bag down. So this is, there you go. So it is, look, it is a really simple bag. It's not complicated. It's, if you've got my little handbag design book, it's a wraparound base and sides technique. So your front and back panels are actually going to wrap around, and you'll have a center seam down the sides of your bag. So I think my motivation for doing this with you really was just to discuss some of the different techniques really that you can use for applique. And the girls in the Applique Sampler Club, they're working on their first pieces. Oh, faux pas, I have to show you. They're working on their first pieces at the moment that involve pre-shaping curves, and then I'm taking them on to needle turn and some other techniques. Now, while I remember a couple of you come back and said, Leesa, do I take the freezer paper out? I'm never ever writing a pattern again post-op. I've done it twice and I've made a mistake twice. I think that just means no more ops, yeah, for the year. So for those not in the club, I sent out a pair of hearts that have been shaped with freezer paper, and then I sent out some gum leaves that were pre-shaped with polyfuse that I'm going to show you today. And I forgot to tell the girls to take the freezer paper out. So I don't know who's sewn it down with the freezer paper in yet. And Cass and I are going to fix that up today and resend it out with an email. But if you have done your hearts and the freezer paper is still in, that is absolutely fine. I can fix that for you as well. That's fine. So no more drugs involved when writing applique sampler patterns. But the polyfuse that we used in the club, I'm going to show you today. The girls in my club too, I owe you a demo on A Quilter's Life if you're in there, and that's just more around the fact that I haven't had Kate to have me film, but I'm going to suck it up this week and do it for you without her. So I've put all the lights and the cameras on today. I'm sure I can manage to do a little film for you. Okay, so these leaves that are on here, I have done these ones with steamer seam, so of Lysafix, so paper backed adhesive. I've got a scrawny little bit that's sitting here. Which camera? That one. So this is the pathetic little bit that is sitting in my office. I don't cut much off the bolt at a time, and I got this bit to show you why. See how it's coming apart? So you have to be really careful, and I know it's really hard because usually when you go to a patchwork shop, it does come off a roll. So it's all curled up, and then that can create problems for you down the track in terms of it lifting. This bit is lifting really badly, but I'm hoping to get away. I will just with one end to show you today. Okay, so that is one thing. So that's what this is. So they are raw edge, they are literally just stuck down, and I have blanket stitched around them. Admittedly, I have used metallic gold, which is just that little bit more impressive, but I'm going to have a go at doing that for you today too. Okay, so that's one technique. Now the other one that I mentioned is this stuff, which is Polyfuse. So this is, I was introduced to this by Maria Waters, as I've mentioned before, who is just backstage groupie, pop concert, love her to bits, and Eileen Campbell, both of them, my applique queens. And interestingly enough, Eileen does a lot of raw edge work, which you'll see in our spring exhibition, and Maria does a lot of needle turned or pre-shaped work with Polyfuse. So one's raw edge, one's not. Now this stuff is literally a water soluble paper. So the whole concept you have to get your head around with this is you're not taking it out. It is staying in there. It's not going to wreck your fabric. It's acid free. It will break down anytime you wash your work, and it's really kind of nice and soft, so it doesn't impact, it doesn't make your work stiff or anything. It is, so it's really, really cool to use. Now I've got some, where's my tray, sorry, this tray that's kind of ready to go with that whole thing here. Some I prepared it earlier. Oh, can I show you this? You know how we've got our new colours? We've got our new cream colour that you all indulged in the other week on a Saturday. So these are the folders that we've done. So one of these will go to Rosemary up at Cross Stitch Corner, and across to Glennis at Craft Collections in Bunbury, WA, and everywhere, to all of our main, where else do we go? Ace Drapers, all over the place. Lanny Magic, Calico Patch in Canberra. So there's all of our shops that stock all my stuff. So anyway, so Cass has done a lovely new cover, and then we put new colour inside. Ta-da! So these, doesn't this look cool? Cass has actually printed them. They're printed, they're not real. And see, she even adds in like a little shadow, so it looks like they're all sitting on top of each other. I think that's so impressive. And then they get a real piece. So Steve stuck all of those on as well. Yeah, so that's, sorry, that was just sitting there, couldn't help myself. Okay, so these are the ones that I have prepared for the black and green version that you'll find on the website. So these ones are going to sit over black. I'll pop that down there for you. Is that the right way around? No, this one goes up higher. They're going to sit over black like that. Actually, I might turn this around. You know, I hear that cat running around out there, and sometimes I think she's brought a mouse in, and any minute now she's going to pop it up on the table for you all to see, or a lizard. She's got a thing for frogs as well, and she doesn't hurt them. She doesn't hurt them at all. She just brings them in and gently puts them down, and they hop around, because we've got the reserve out the back with the water. We've got lots of little froggies out there. Okay, so you can see they're going to sit like that, and then I have got my little caps that I'm going to put on. I actually think this piece of paper is maybe, this piece of black that I've cut is maybe a little bit too thin. I'll have to check it. There we go. So that one will sit about there, and I will come through and add some detail in veins and things like I've got on the picture. You can just see that over the top. Put that there, I'll show you in a minute. And then the plain ones, so I sort of alternate. So I've got the plain gum nuts going on the green flowering gum, and vice versa. So they'll sit like that. So Felicity was just saying before that you can, hi Chris, you can, no, not the stitching, so you can use the end of your clear stitching platform on your machine if you have one. No, not the stitching post in Katuma, Melanie. It's cross stitch. Oh, do I do the stitching post in Katuma? I'm not sure. I think we sell some things. Ah, see, Cecily, you've got it all then up where you are. Yeah, I love it. Ace Drapers, he's amazing, that guy. He's just fantastic. I was going to say, you can, I don't know. Oh no, I completely lost it. No, I'm going to put veins down the middle of these. I keep reading what you're writing at the same time I'm talking, which is wrong. And then we're going to add in these stems and things, and then we're going to add the flowers over the top. Now, you're saying, how'd she shape them? Let's have a look. There you go. This is on the Polyfuse, not freezer paper, so this is going to stay in. I'm going to show you the Maria Water technique, and I'm going to give her credit all the way for this because she very generously showed me how to do it, then taught it at Chandler's Cottage, and then said, go forth and Polyfuse. So, you know, I kind of am. I'm just going to turn this around because I want you to see that pattern there. So there you go. That's what comes in the kit at the back of the pattern. You can use that for anything. It doesn't have to go on the bag at all. Right, so I want to set up a piece to show you how you use the Polyfuse. I'll pop that up there. Yes, I did put that in Live 5 as well, didn't I? Yes, I did. Okay, so we need to cut out, let's go over here. We need to cut out a shape for you so I can show you. Now, please remember, this is like using, I'm just doing this for you now as a demonstration, but please remember it is like using Steamer Seam or Liza Fix. You do need to create a reverse pattern of your shapes, or reverse of your shapes, so that when you applique them down onto your background, they are the right way around. Yeah, Lynette, I totally get that. Sometimes it is easy, and look, if Glennis, it doesn't have, we have so much stuff now that I don't expect shops to have everything we have all the time. Live, it is Live 6, Fiona, but don't put the gap in. You've got to go Live 6 with no gap. I don't know who was asking, but you've got to go Live 6. There's no gap here. So it's Live 6 in one go, and it will pull everything up for you. So in normal circumstances, what I would do, folks, is I would turn it over to the back on a light box. In fact, I can actually see through here, and I would create a shape like that, which is the reverse, and then I would put this, it does work, I could do it for you like that, and then I would put that over the top on the light box and trace that off, and then that is going to give me the one on this side of the bag that's going to eventually end up the right way around. Because I just realized before, it's really, really hard to see on the light box, I have chosen off the cuff yes, Jane, you were there at her workshop. Actually, can I tell you, Miss Jane, who was at Maria's workshop, the Waratah, I'll have to get it out. I don't know where it is, to be honest, girls. I've had a little bit of a rearrangement and a move. So when I find the Waratah that we did in Maria's class, I will show you. It is here somewhere. I'll be able to pull it out next week, I'm sure. And she's given me permission whenever I can get there to teach it at Birmingham. So that's pretty cool. All right, I have drawn that on there to the rough side. You've got two sides. There's a shiny side that is going, it's just not going to show up on the camera, but that is the adhesive side. Again, it's not going to hurt your work at all. Karen Oswald's in the building. Excellent. I'll just cut this out. So Maria just had the best tips for using this stuff. And in fact, I don't think Em's watching from the shop. When I ask her later if she watched, she'll say, I was a little bit busy filling orders. We are switching over. We have an Australia Post account now. Talk about getting really serious. I just think the guys at Parkdale Post Office are sick of seeing us walk in the door, but we're now set up. So within a couple of weeks, everyone will get tracking for their parcels, which will be fantastic. It just got out of control, didn't it, with lockdowns and everything. Okay, so I've cut that out. Now, what shall we use? Let's use this Applique. I'm doing, just because I can, one more, just one more. Let's just move all that. Colourway in this bag. So we've got the black. Got the black and green one happening. Actually, I'll pull these up and show you this first. So this is going to be the black and green one, everyone. Okay, so you're going to have that for your panel. That's going to be your Gumleaf print. You're going to have this screen and a really beautiful, it's not this, I don't think it's this, yeah, it is that one. No, it's not. Where is it? Well, you saw it there, those leaves I've got here somewhere. I'll pull them out again in a tick. But those coloured leaves that I've just shown you, and then, oh, they're in here. Hang on. Okay, these are the colours that are going on this one. See, this is a little bit more yellow. So these go with this one. And then I'm going a little bit rogue on you for the lining. I could have just run the green, but I'm going to run, I know it sounds really weird, but I have played with everything within my collection. I'm going to run the black fans for the lining. I thought about the new cream ones. I tried everything. I consulted Miss Emma. But that is the kit that we're running for the black one. And you will see that up online now under Live 5. That's up there. And this one. So the third one, I'm just really doing it for myself at the moment. If I think it works really well, I will. I'll pop it up before Thursday. I'll have a little bit of a play for you. So I'm doing this. I'm doing this colour. And I'm going to put it with a really sort of taupey colour for the panel that will bring up the gum nuts, and then that over the top. And this, now, I'm not sure that actually shows up as well with the camera, but there is this light green that's in these. It's a little bit different to all the other ones. Once I get these onto a taupe background, this is going to pop, and that's what I really want to have a go with this time. Again, if I do it and it's a big faux pas, I will change it over before I put a kit up for it. So let's, how's that camera angle today? I'm sorry, just between us girls, while there's no men in the house, who fiddle and stuff around with my, I didn't say stuff. Who fiddle and play with my cameras. Look, just leave it. Just, you know how sometimes people just fluster you a bit, but when you're left alone, it's all fine. It's like a sea of spaghetti on the floor with cords. It's not as neat as when Rob usually does it, but I really hope he's not watching and having a go. All right. So I'm just going to iron this on quickly. Again, just make sure that you've got it the right way round so that your adhesive is going down onto the wrong side of your fabric. Obviously, I've got a Applique and it doesn't matter. All right, now we're going to literally cut out. Now, here's the school of thought here. When Maria did this class, she said, cut it really, really close. She's got good eyesight. And then we're going to clip in, clip in into the seam allowances. I actually found that quite hard to do with my eyesight, with the glasses on now, to clip in when I had a really small seam allowance to work with. So I'm sort of doing a little bit of a double handling thing. I'm leaving a more generous seam allowance to start with, so about a 1/4 inch. And I will take this moment to say, hello Sue, hello Grandy, hello Cheryl. Jenny, why is Ray listening to Leesa? Has he got me on in the background while he's working? That's funny. the new house, Jen? I hope it's all organised. Hello, Michelle. Jenny and Ray used to be my neighbours. They were my Bowie neighbours. Well, down the street neighbours. And I'm just going to say it out loud on Facebook, Jenny. The first time I went to Jenny's house, Stephen was just, I think, Stephen was, actually love looking back, Stephen was just starting to stand up, and I can remember him holding himself up around an ottoman at Jenny's house. And now he's 6'2" and building my website. What happened to that? Oh, and it was an Enyo party, and I'm still using the Enyo stuff that I bought at Jen's party. All of my stuff still works. So I'm really glad that day I spent a fortune and didn't tell Robert. But love it. Okay. Don't think I use Enyo everywhere, folks. I'm living in a very old grotty house. Sometimes I need things a little bit more stubborn. But okay, so you see that? Now, so this is what we now do. We do that classic bit where we snip, but we're going to snip close and often, not all the way into the paper, because I know it sounds really weird, but I will show you. You kind of roll that seam allowance up and over the edge of the paper, and oh, I didn't quite iron that well enough, hang on. And you just, in doing that, you just don't want it to be too close. I know I have written this in for my club girls. Oh wow, I would really love to be able to go and get the block to show off what everyone in the club's doing at the moment, and I've just looked at the obstacle course to get there. I don't think I can get there without cutting you off. Goodness me. I'm going to do one side to show you, because I'll do a little bit on the other side. I want to get this nice and close so I can show you. There we go. Let me just do a little bit more, just a little bit of this side, because we always think that the inside curve, oh, I've got a bit there, is the challenge. But in doing this, sometimes it's actually the outside curve. Okay, I'm going to sit that down there. Hello, Jenny. Hiya to you too. So, I tell you what, there's not many of us that aren't doing some little bit of a stay at home at the moment, is there? I just it's a twin-edge blade, isn't it? It's challenging. It's really challenging. But then on the other hand, I've been getting stuck into everyone in clubs and things about making the most of the time at home. It's somehow you've got to treat it as precious time and make the most of it, don't you? And I must say a lot of you are, and I'm very, very impressed. I nearly sat on the couch and did nothing on Saturday afternoon. I thought, nope. I've told them all to get going, so that's what I did. Oh, so what happened was we ordered I think I'm going to put that in there because I need to push down the new lighting for us, for you and me, so that we've got easier lighting to work with, and flash ones. Can you see that okay? I think you can. And it's coming from Amazon, and because it wasn't exactly a cheap purchase, we got free Amazon Prime for a month, and I thought, oh great, more free TV. This is your very technical tool, which you will find in the second drawer of your ensuite or your bathroom, where you keep your nail files and your nail polish and your hand cream. This is just my orange stick, my cuticle manicure orange stick, and I have popped on my Soline glue, which I think is on the website. It's on the new one. If it's not, just ring Emma at the shop if you want us to stick one in for you. I know the Applique girls have got one. Okay, so just glue stick, and you could use a normal, you know, boss stick, but you just make sure it's a nice fine one because you don't want too much on there. Then you're going to get your cuticle stick, and one at a time. An orange stick, correct Fiona, it is an orange stick, a cuticle stick, because I believe it's made from orange wood. Well, they used to be. See that? One at a time. We're going to press over our little seam allowance tabs. Now, as I mentioned, if you get down to really teeny weeny pieces like my little gum nuts, when you get down to that, you'll want to trim off some of this seam allowance. It's just too big to work with. And Maria Waters does pieces that are literally 1/4 of an inch inside. It looks like your little mini seam press. Let's just see how, look at that, you stick it all down. Okay, like that. And then if we have a look at the other side, look at that, all done. You can also go to the front, just to give it a little bit of a press, just so you're happy with it. And of course, once you've got it all on, you can hit it with an iron. This is actually really fun to do. It's quite meditative and calm. It's very satisfying. Now, as I mentioned, if you get down some really little tight bits and pieces. Hello, Anne. You're here. Hello, Francis. You can trim away. So I like to do that cut while I can really see what I'm working with, and then to make a real mess on the floor, because it's already got the darts in it, I can go back and cut off a bit more like that. So you can fold up, fold up. Natasha in the UK, I was on the phone with her while making coffee just before the show, because she's running the Oriental Baltimore as a block of the month at the moment, and she's got the girls needle turning, and I'm going to introduce her to Polyfuse this week for the next one. I think she's doing the Cherry Blossom block this month, and then Maple. This is just such a cool technique. There you go. So you just keep going. I know what you're saying. Yeah, Lisa, get down to the point, show us what happens. The most important point with the point, and Jane will tell you, I'll tell you what, Maria, it was the first time Maria had taught in about a year, and when we got to talking about point, she slammed the table, everyone jumped, and we all got the message. Don't trim your points until later. So I've taken that right down to the point. Lynn, not Ross, says hi, and the internet in Morty is being washed away. You keep freezing. Thanks, Lynn. What do you mean the internet in Morty is being washed away? Really? I don't like the sound of that. Not the Morty Pier. Okay. So see how that's gone? I've got that right down. There's a bit that sticks over the other side. I know I'm allowed to trim that bit off. So now that all sits flush, and then when I go up the other side, I'm going to just do a bit of this for you, because otherwise you won't believe me. Yep. And then I put a bit of glue on. Now what will happen on this side is another piece will overlap. Oh, you know what I've got on the ladder behind me? Just to quickly show you, I've pulled out my 2 Japanese geisha quilts, because I can't see Pete's here today, but I promised him I would. Okay, so now when I turn it over, you can see that, I think you can see, there's just a little bit that goes back the other way. And now that it goes back the other way, that little bit that sits underneath, I can trim that off. So now I have a super duper point. And so when adding this onto your panels, you've got a few choices. You can do it with blanket stitch on the machine. You can do it with slip stitch. You can do it with raw edge, whatever you want to do to get it onto the block. So that is it's just fantastic technique. You know what, for me, trying to get a lot of new projects and things done, and things I've promised myself and you that I've been going to do for ages. Of course, I'm always looking for techniques that are going to speed up the process, and whether you decide to use those techniques yourself or use your preferred one, I need to create the image so you can see what we're actually working on. So whether it's bagging out shapes, like we've done again on the applique sample, the girls have bagged out a particular motif from my Melba fabric, and then they're going to be doing an Australian biscuit barrel in that technique. And that's a really fast, effective way of getting quite defined shapes done. And then the polyfuse gives me another option, because raw edge isn't the be-all and end-all of doing really delicate work. We still love that, you know, I still love that look of a turned edge. So this has just given me a fantastic tool, if you like, to speed up the process. And whether you just, I mean, I still love needle turning, but whether you want to do that or not is, you know, kind of entirely up to you. I'm just going to show you that again. So that's the polyfuse. Oh, look at, gone red, and the heating's not on. It must be the lights. So you get 5 A4 sheets. Now, Maria tells me, depending on your printer, I will ask her before Thursday. She sticks it, I think she did, Jane, didn't she? They were printed, I think the ones that we had for the workshop were pre-printed onto the polyfuse. I will check that, because this is A4 cut. Put it through the printer if you had a file, or you could take my design and scan it in. And did you, I suppose you've all noticed that a lot of my patterns now are coming through looking like this instead of in the cover. We're still going to have ones that are in a cover that we sell printed in the mail, but this is kind of all starting to happen because the new website, you'll be able to buy a printable download pattern with many of our patterns as well. Okay, the other technique is, as I mentioned, your straight up super duper, where we all started, Leesa steamer seam. Now this is, I know what this is. This is a piece of, this is a piece of old, oh my goodness, I hope it works. This is an old piece of, let's just do a gum nut. Leesa, and I can tell because it's only, it hasn't got something protecting it on both sides. If you order some from us, just email or ring Emma at the shop, because it's not up on the website, and I have failed miserably recently in capturing everyone's orders of live comments. Well, not miserably, but it's really hard to capture them all through Messenger and everything if it's not an actual live show week where we're taking orders on Facebook, like this one. I'm just going to cut so that, just so you can see that, that is the size we're working with. Now I'm going to, just because I don't know what you can see, let's choose a bigger one here. So, you know, if I said to you needle turn that, you'd go yeah, thanks, Jane. Yeah, Ruth, they were, weren't they? They were printed on. How cool is it? So, oh, why am I showing you that? You can't see a thing. There you go. So that, if you look at that now, and you if I said to you before, I want you to needle turn that, and you'll go, no way. But with that polyfuse technique, you can do that quite easily. It may be a little bit of practice, but, I mean, this is a teeny-weeny piece, and you're going to get heaps of fabric in your kit, and you're going to get lots of polyfuse if you buy that. So that's pretty good. All right. Actually, do you know what I'm going to do? Oh, Lisa, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put a piece of polyfuse in the kits. Why? Because I'm the boss and I can. I will make sure that there is enough in there for you to do your leaves and your gum nuts. So, because I'm just sure that all of you are going to want to go. Someone just said, I wish I had known. Yeah, Melanie. I wish I had known about this method last time I tried to use polyfuse. Well, oh, that's a bit sad. Yeah, I know, I think a lot of people have tried to use it for other things. Look at this. This is dead and gone. That is going straight in the bin when we're finished this. Goodness me, it's all come apart. I first saw Maria playing with polyfuse, I think at AQC one year, and I thought, I don't understand what all the fuss is about, because she was sort of using it in a different way for applique and things, I think. And then, I don't know if it was her light, I think her sort of light bulb went off one day. I know she did use it in Renaissance Revival, so for those of you that have not Googled that yet, have a look at Renaissance Revival. And Maria is spelled M-A-R-I-Y-A. I'm just going to take this to the ironing board and come back. That quilt has it in. I just think my ability to create something a bit woo-hoo is going to go through the roof with this stuff. Hence, I'm quite confident about putting some all in your kits, because there are the pre-cut pieces, but I did buy a big roll of it for myself. Right, so that is my Liza Fix stuck on. So there's no right or wrong side. So this is what we usually do, yeah? I'm just going to cut my gum nut out. So if you do want some paper backed adhesive, and ring the shop or email us at info@chandlerscottage.com, you're going to get Steamer Seam. Steamer Seam comes with an extra layer of paper on one side, so it protects it. Make sure when you check your Steamer Seam that you are actually tracing onto the side that has the adhesive on it. There have been tears in our house before where I've spent an hour tracing and was on the wrong side. But it is good, and when you peel the paper off Steamer Seam, I'm just going to peel this off now. There you go. So you can't see it, but I can actually feel, and it's just a bit of a shine to it, that has the adhesive on it. So when I then, there's all the other guys. So there's kind of the difference that you're going to get. You're going to have just straight flat, or you're going to have one that's got a rolled edge on it. Steamer Seam, when you take peel the paper off, it stays a little bit sticky, and that actually is really nice when you're layering up different appliques. It's really nice because they all kind of, you can, do you remember that we used to have, I'm really pushing this all now age-wise, but remember the felt pictures we used to have as kids? I loved those. And you would have this little felt board. I'm just doing this a little bit so I can show you. You'd have that little felt board, and you have all little different houses or dresses and things to pop onto your dolls. That's kind of what it feels like when you peel the paper off the Steamer Seam. So that is what your raw edge is going to look like. Have you noticed when you see a lot of art quilts that, and this is not detracting from my art quilt colleagues or friends, that a lot of them are done with batiks? One of the reasons is because they don't fray. They have a really, really strong, tight weave to them. And then with that in mind, I'm just checking, yeah, I thought so. With that in mind, they're great to use for raw edge applique because they don't fray. And also when you look at a traditionally screen printed fabric like mine, you've got very clearly a right and the wrong side. So when you use them for raw edge work, unless you've got a really good sharp needle to get through them, sometimes when you stitch with a straight stitch right close to the edge, it'll kick up the edge and you can see the paler colour underneath. So that is why a lot of art quilt artists love working with batiks, because they get that really lovely clean crisp edge that doesn't fray and you don't get any other colour showing up from underneath. Just so you know. So every time now you go, she goes, I know why she used only batiks. But that's true. And you, like if you think about all the artists, like the very cool, my chocolate eating friend McKenna Ryan, not my friend, but McKenna and I have shared twice on occasions chocolate at a market spree at a trade show. All of her quilts are done with batiks because it's all that fine detail. She's really an artist and a graphic designer that creates beautiful pictures, and then you can cut teeny weeny little stems and flowers and detail with her batiks that she does for Hoffman, and they won't fray for raw edge work. So anyway, that's just a little bit of constructive gossip on the side. Now, I just quickly wanted to show you about a little bit about popping these leaves onto your panels for the bags. And while I'm doing this, just so you understand what's going to happen with this bag, when you do start sewing and you go, what, no, that can't be right, Leesa, the bag is tapered. So when you look at this, you can see, even though you always get a little bit of a taper, even if you start with straight sides, you can clearly see that I have tapered in these sides. But when you get your pattern, I haven't tapered it to start with. So you're actually going to piece all of this, and it actually comes up as a rectangle first, and then you're going to quilt it, and then you're going to taper it down. And all you're going to do at the bottom, you're going to, I've given you a measurement to measure in from the bottom corners, the same amount each side, and you're going to trim off some of it so that you end up with a tapered panel. That's a much better scenario, I think, to get it all together and then quilt it if you want to, and then bring it down to the size you need, rather than do all that shaping first with these two side pieces. It's way easier. Same with the back. You leave it as a whole rectangle first, and then you'll come back after you've quilted it if you want to, and taper it down. If you are a quilting girl, I'll just I'm not bragging, really, I'm not. I'm just showing you what I did. Okay, so what I chose to do on this side was just little gum leaves. Now, if you find that a little bit difficult to do, you can just meander around the gum leaves if you want to. Gum leaves are very easy to do. You'll come up, go back down, and then you come up through the vein. Keep going, do a little bit of a wiggle, and you can come up, go down, and then back up through the vein. So you can get quite a continuous pattern happening. On the front here, okay, this was excessive. This was not necessary. I was obviously in one of those moods. So first of all, I could have appliqued and quilted at the same time with the detail that I have put onto my leaves. So I chose to blanket stitch, and I could have done that while I was quilting. And these veins could have been done as well, which would have really made the leaves pop more. But here what I've done is I've left them with no quilting where the leaves are and the flowers, and then I did use a tight stipple around so that the leaves would hopefully pop up a bit. They pop a bit, but not a heap. I could have probably done that a little bit better. The other thing you can do if you don't like doing free motion is just do some really cool echo work. So go really close to your leaves with your walking foot, then come out 1/4 of an inch and just keep going out and echo outwards, and you'll get a beautiful sort of radiating landscape kind of effect as you echo out the leaves out to the edges. And I did purposely do that different to the panels on the panels on the front, I took the easy way out and I just used the leaves that were on the print as a little bit of a guideline for doing my quilting. Okay, on that one. Now I do need to show you, inside this bag you have green flannel flowers, and if you have been watching the shows you would know that we no longer have much green flannel flower left. We sort of ran out. We thought when Steve did a stock take, he actually has come back with a stock take for me, and it says that there's 3 bolts there. I don't know where he found 3 bolts. If that is correct, I will do the kits exactly the same as this, but if not, I'm going to put the mint gum leaves in for the lining in the kit. So I'm going to have a look and see what we've got. Now, one more thing too, sorry, I'm going to bore you with this, but I want to come back. For actually doing your stitching. Now, I actually want to cover this off when we come together again on Thursday, because if I go too long today, Emma's going to crack it at me because she's got 8 boxes of scarves sitting, trying not to get wet. And I'm very keen to get back to work and make sure all of the orders have been out from last week. That's very important to me. So, what else? Oh yeah, I've got to get rosemary stuff ready. But I'm going to come back and talk about doing the heads on these flowers on Thursday. Both today's shows and Thursdays will go up on YouTube, as is our habit now. I've done these with free motion quilting. So I want to cover off 3 methods. For those that are game enough, we're going to do this free motion with a darning foot. If you're a Bonina girl, it's going to be a number 9 or a number 24, which Fiona knows. She's getting them. Anyway, sorry, get sidetracked. And then I'm going to show you how to do it with your walking foot or with an applique foot, because you can, if you're happy to take the time and you're working in a smaller area, there is no reason why you can't pivot and go back and forth. And the lovely thing about that is you can use quite long stitches and you can get some shading happening, so long and short. So that's the other way. And of course the third way is to do them by hand. So if you do embroidery and you love the idea of sitting down and doing them with chain stitch or with stem stitch or whip stitch, that's the other alternative for you. So that's what I wanted to sort of double up and cover off when we look at embellishing bag flaps on Thursday. So that's that. Now, if you are going to blanket stitch on I'm just going to put this down here. I'm going. Can you tell I'm tired when I'm a gunner? Oh, it's so bad. Yeah, you know what I do notice? If people are watching it with the sound off and there's automated text, it's very embarrassing. I did tell you, or didn't I, that I am hiring someone to come and sign for the next exhibition for hearing impaired people? I did, didn't I? I'm so excited about that. Okay, let's put you on this. All right, so these are going to go on here. What I want to do first, though, is reinforce the back of this, because if I just sew these that are thicker onto something thin, my tension on my machine may not play nice. Now you'll see I've got my hoop here. This is not for today. This is what we're going to come back and use as well on Thursday. So if you want to have a bit of a rustle around in that sewing room of yours before Thursday, we're going to be using a hoop for doing our flower heads on the machine. I am also, wow, these kits are going to get really complicated. I'm also going to pop into your kits a piece of tearaway. This is the tearaway, yeah, tearaway stabilizer, because I would love you to have a go, and I want you to be able to iron some of this onto the back of your panel. I'm just going to chop this bit off. That, let's have a look. Yeah, and I've got another roll at work, so there's plenty there for everyone. That's good. So I want to put this onto the back of this, You will find there is a right and wrong side, of course, again. So excuse me for a tick. I'm just going to talk amongst yourselves. I'm just going to iron this on. Hey, what's everyone having for dinner? Gee, it gets hard, doesn't it, when you're in lockdown? You've got to work out what on earth you're going to eat. I do find, though, with the old order online, I seem to be ordering exotic things because it becomes a little form of entertainment to order. My mum, Pam, is the queen of online shopping now. She would never, ever have done anything like that. Please excuse Ginny's hair. Any of that before lockdown. And now, she's the queen. Right, so they're going to, gee, that's going to be okay, isn't it? That's going to look quite good. Where's that bit of green gone? Whoa. What I haven't mentioned, which is very neglectful of me, is there are some stems and things to add on. You can do that with graphite paper, with a lightbox, but if you have a chalk pencil, please have a go and just do it by sight. You don't need you really, really... See all this stuff here, all this, you can draw that on. You don't need to trace it off. I'm sure you can all draw that on. Right, so we want to, so this has now given us a little bit of oomph. I'm going to flip this one over. Egg and bacon pie, Lynette, sounds fabulous. Oh, wow, gee, you're all organised. Ah. Oh, wow. You were just trying to outdo yourself. Melanie, are you an Ossobuco girl? I looked at it. I haven't had that since I was a kid. I did look at it yesterday. Leftover spag bowl, Fiona, is always an acceptable... cookies, Tina, you can't eat cookies for dinner. That's not... Yeah. So, steak and risotto salad sounds fabulous. So, you're all outdoing me now. Apricot chicken with apple slice. Okay, Deb, come on. Oh, you've even got dessert ready. I'm not even going to tell you what we're having now. That's not, I'm not going to tell you. Put my phone back on there. Okay. Well, last night we had fillet steak. No, I know, but you know what? The night before we ordered takeaway and it wasn't great. And I thought, you know what? It wasn't super expensive, but it was $35 for a bit of Thai. And I thought, and then I whinge about paying $16 for 2 bits of fillet steak. Come on, Leesa. So we had fillet steak with frittata last night, which is just egg and bacon pie, let's face it, with some fancy schmass stuff put in. And then I have packed the rest up for Steve to take home. And tonight we're having pork and veal meatballs, because there was pork and veal mince in the freezer and there was a bit of leftover sweet potato, so I've roasted that, and there's half an onion and some mushrooms. So I think it's going to be the old Cookery the Australia way white sauce made into a herb sauce. Everyone's got a copy, haven't they, of Cookery the Australia way from high school? It's the best book. I'm actually buying copies for the boys for Christmas. Now I need you to see, yeah, that'll work. So in my machine I have got, I hope this works now. I haven't changed my needle, that's what I'm nervous about, because there's a brand new one going in for the person taking this machine home. Because you know how I had 2 475s? I don't anymore. This one is going straight to Tim for its departure service, straight after the show. I've got metallic in the top. We're going to give it a go. And I've got bottom line polyester thread in the base. I'm one of those people that say if it's natural cotton on top, natural in the bottom. If it's non-natural in the top, so polyester embroidery threads or metallic, I have bottom line polyester in my bobbin. That's the way I roll, and I find I can get away with that all the time. You can see I've put this on the vertical spool, and not necessarily really with the Bernina when I'm going slow, but you will always find your metallic threads will run better from a vertical spool, either on the machine or on a stand over here, than they will laying down flat on your spool, because they come off and they spin off very differently to cotton, and they can kink as they hit the mechanism in the machine, and then they'll snap. So we always think that it is because our tension's too tight or it needs changing. A lot of the time it's to do with it kinking coming into the machine. Now, if you're on a Bernina as well, when you switch to your blanket stitch, it's under the quilt section, it's under 1309. I wanted to look at that for everyone else. This machine automatically changes your tension. I'm just bragging. So it's dropped the tension down for blanket stitch. So you might want to think about whether you need to do that or not for your machine. The other thing I'm going to do is switch over to one of these, which is a number 23 foot. This, I know a lot of you have grabbed one of these because I talked you into it, and I think you're all very happy about it. But this is a cool applique foot. So it's got a big clear base. It's under the Bernina section on our website if you want to go and have a look at how it works, or Google it and have a look at their YouTube thing. But big clear base, you can see where you're going. And you can imagine if I'm doing really kind of thick felt applique and stuff, it presses down and holds everything in place really nicely. So I'm going to throw this one on. So I'll just quickly show you this, and then we're going to chuff because you've got lots of sewing to do. Half of you have cooked dinner, so I'm not going to say that. But I'm very conscious. I promised Emma I'd be back to help her finish off the mail orders. I'm going to have a look at what everyone's having for dinner though later. It's so hard, isn't it, not to cook bad things when we're all stuck at home. But I do think in the same token, it's a great time to pull out all those recipes that we've cut out of the Coles, the Woolies, the Better Homes and Gardens, all of those, and have a good sort out and work out which ones to keep, which ones to throw, and which ones to try out. So you can just see the combination of that foot, which holds everything down and in place, and having that stabilizer on the back makes a huge difference. And look, I've been really ad hoc with this. I haven't, oh, now have I finished at the right part of the blanket stitch? Have not even tacked it. You saw what I did. I just used a little bit of the glue again to hold it down. Now, I'm going to have to go back and fix this, everyone, because I just want to get this done to show you, and I've left a little bit of that tip that we trimmed off before sticking through, so I'll go back and change that. But I just wanted to show you how easy this is. I'm just going to stop there. That is enough to show you how it's looking. There you go. So that is, a really nice quick combination of the pre-shaping with this. You could also do it with your steamer seam or your Leesa fix as well. But if you want to have a go with the metallic thread, look, I do have them. They're not up online at the moment, and that's all to do with the fact that the postage and everything was really askew for the for these large spools from Superior Threads. It's $9.20 to post one because they're too thick to go through the letter slot. But now I'm going to go back and revisit that. We also have the really good Metler metallics in. I've got a whole range of those. They're up on the new website, but if you do want one to have a play with and you're ordering the other stuff, just again email me or ring the shop and I can put in a cream bottom line for you, which will cover you for so many different colours, and we can pop in a metallic for you if you want to have a go. Make sure you use good needles too. You do need the good Superior Thread titanium needles. I'm doing that because I'd rather push you into buying a good one than have you ring me in tears saying, I can't get it to work. But you need that combination of a good needle with an elongated eye with the bottom and the top all together. So now, did we do everything that I said? Hang on, let me just find the list. Let's just check the list before we go. Yes, so what we do on Thursday will run under the Live 5 code as well. So as I get things done towards Thursday, including kits for Emma's cool new version of the panel pocket tote and what we're going to do, we'll pop those up. If you want, what did I do with it? I don't know what I've done with it now. Here it is. If you want to pop things in your cart now, you can, or just have it, have a wish list ready. I don't see, this is the nice thing about this week, I don't see us running out of anything because it's from my fabric. So it's fine just to write a list and then come back and watch again on Thursday and place your order, and I will add new things to Live 6 as the week goes on. Okay, so we're going to do that Thursday, and I'm going to go through different techniques, including the gum flowers on flap embellishment on Thursday. It is feral outside. I have to tell you, it's wind and rain and it's all happening. Now what else is hanging here? Okay, let's just do this before I go, because I promised you and you'll get grumpy. I have to weigh up all of you getting grumpy. How many? 88 of you at the moment getting grumpy compared to one Emma. Actually, that's probably that's a fair comparison, I can tell you. Okay, now, wow, it's all happening out there. The camera is shaking on the ceiling. That's how bad it is. Let me just move this. If you're wondering about me driving in the wind and the rain, the warehouse is 3 minutes away. It won't take long. I can get there. I suppose I should really take her a fresh coffee though at the same time. Okay, let's move this. All right. So this is the first version ever of my Japanese collection. So can you just, if I hold that up, you can have a look and you can see she's got a 3D flap on here. Now I know I've had her up before, but I wanted to show you this because if I start showing you these shapes and think of polyfuse, we're going to do this quilt again, but this time, where is she? Polyfuse and bagging out techniques, so she's going to be very quick and easy to do. So my mates that are in the club that are doing the applique sampler, you're learning every different type of technique at the moment so that you have all those tools in your sewing kit. When we come to this one, if you decide to do this one, you'll have all the knowledge of what you've learned. You can choose your favourite techniques. But for me, I'm going to use polyfuse and bag out. She's actually got little separate flappy bits on her. So that was the first version. Now this, we're not doing these colours, so don't get too excited. I wanted to show you this one though because she is on a light background. The new one, I think I've shown you, it's in the cupboard, the black butterflies before, is going on a pale background. So that's that one. Then the other version is going to be quite radical. So sort of the next version, if you like, the first one is sort of going to be more these colours but on a light background, and then I'm going to run on a dark blue black background, I think. I don't know yet, but it's going to be blue, and I'm doing that for Mr. Peter because he wants a blue one. So I'm running blues, Japanese blues on this one. So you can see a little bit more, and I got a little bit more 3D. I know it's not up on the wall, but I'll show you a little bit more 3D on this one. So again, a lot of the polyfuse, a lot of bagging out techniques, pre-shaping will be used for these, and they'll be a lot faster to do. My wall is now getting naked. I just popped this up as well. So that's the Japanese Baltimore. Again, I did all of this needle turn in 3D, but again, polyfuse techniques for this would be fantastic, with some pre-shaping of bias stems and things as well. That's a pattern up on the website, but hold off on that. I might pop that under Live 6 for you this week. And I just wanted to show you this one. This is an oldie, an old oldie that I did way back under the colour mentorship of a very creative quilter who I don't think quilts anymore, Jennifer Samuel Locke. And I taught this for a while, but who would have thought of putting orange, pink and purple together at the time? But this is an old quilt. I mean, it might almost be pre-Steve. I think I may have been preggy with Steve when I did this one. So why is this out? Well, with all of my Melba fans, so now in the gold we have orange, red, green, cream and black. So I am going to remake this quilt with my Melba fan fabric. So it's, you can see it's Dresden's out on the side. We'll mess around and do different flowers and stuff in the middle, but this is out in my studio because of that. And also I want to come back and talk to you about doing curved binding and taking it all the way to the back or getting it sitting up on the edge. This is another thing that I want to do with you. So on one of our Thursdays. So I think that's about it. Oh, this quilt over here was from Passage to India, and that's in my studio because I think I've spoken to you. One of the new ranges I'm doing next year is called the Silk Road. So we're going back and doing the Indian and the Russian and the Chinese and doing the whole Silk Road journey and doing a collection. So it's hanging here. This is Rob's favourite quilt. He'll freak out it's not on the towel rail in the lounge room. I've moved it. He's really attached to it. So I have to be careful. And it's called the Wonky Donkey quilt. It's not Passage to India. Because when it was the first quilt where we took the fabric straight off the loom, I think I've told you before, in the factory and had it sent through before it had been straightened and blocked. So when Biffy and I put the quilt together and all of the seams matched and all worked, but it was literally like this because the fabric hadn't been blocked. So we learnt a lot about blocking fabric before using it. So there you go. Now, that is it from me for today. If I have forgotten anything, I'm really sorry, but you know what? I'll be back in 48 hours. So I will see you on Thursday afternoon. Have a fabulous afternoon. Have a lovely evening. Stay safe, stay warm, and keep sewing. And if you've got any questions, as I said, please send them through to info@Chandler's Cottage. That would be great, or ring the warehouse, or ring the shop. I have missed some. There's still a lot of messages coming through on Facebook and everything, and I do love that, but I do miss them because I'm not on there as much as I would like to be at the moment. So if you don't want me to miss something, email us or ring the shop and I'll make sure you've got it. All right. Okay. Love you all, and I'll see you on Thursday. Bye.